Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like or what they are wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street, which is a bar and a restaurant. They have a happy hour here every day from 3 till 7, which is 4 hours. Everything is half price, and including bar food and the awesome cocktails that we have here. And today's happy hour is brought to us by Door Furniture. For 80 years, Door Furniture has served retail customers throughout the greater New Orleans area, from its home base on Orleanian Fields in the Marigny, now in its 4th generation, if you can believe that. Door proudly provides the finest quality furniture from manufacturers like Stickley, Century, and a wide variety of Amish-made furniture. Do you guys have any Amish furniture?
No, but I love it.
What is it?
It's very elegant and simple in its design. It's almost like Quaker-ish.
Quaker, is it really? That's the voice of Tiana Hux you're hearing here. You'll tell you more about her in a minute. Door's designers can also customize pieces for your home, from slip-cover sofas to dining room tables. And if you're on the North Shore, Door recently opened a second location in Covington. Door Furniture is about as normal as it gets, isn't it?
It's gorgeous.
John Flemming, wouldn't you agree with that?
I think it's absolutely a wonderful store.
Oh, all right, and thank you too to Strategic Resumes. If you want to sharpen up your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your other job search skills, give them a call at Strategic Resumes. And if you want to get away, start your search by checking in with Travel Central and Metairie. I don't know if you've ever done this, but are you young enough to, or old enough to have had a travel agent, Lynx? Do you know what a travel agent does? A travel agent does the same thing that you do, except you don't have to do it. You don't have to spend hours and hours on Kayak and Expedia.
Yeah.
The travel agent does it, and you pay them nothing.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that a great concept?
It's a wonderful deal.
Give them a call at Travel Central and Metairie. And that's been our whole show for today. John Flemming is here. It's so great to see you, John. How's it going?
Good to see you, too.
We've been talking. John and I have known each other for how long? About 100 years. And every time we run into each other, we say, let's get together and do something.
Dinner.
Yeah, and we never ever do it. So we finally got together to have a drink here today on Happy Hour. And Lynx Zohar and John already know each other.
Yeah.
Have met.
We met at Tipitina's.
With Steve Armbruster,
Right.
mutual friend.
So you don't know each other at all.
No.
But
really.
you just ran into each other.
We just ran into each other watching music.
We were having a great time.
So how weird is that of a coincidence right there?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
A couple months. I don't know. Continental
Maybe
Drifters.
just a month.
The Continental Drifters.
Yeah.
So that
It
was
was
like
awesome.
over Jazz Fest.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a great
Drifters, yeah.
evening. It was a great evening.
It was?
Yes.
Memorable for both of you?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a
All
long
right,
time.
that's the good thing
kind
about
of an
Tipitina's.
old family, you know, the Continental Drifters.
Drifters at Tipitina's.
I know all of those
Right.
people in there for years.
And Tiana Hux is here as well, also known as MC Sweet Tea.
If you're nasty.
One of my favorite recording artists in New Orleans.
Why, thank you very much.
Your record that came out, I don't even believe that was so long ago, 2005. That
2005,
record,
yes.
Story.
And then we just released a record. My band, Malevitus, we just released a record on the Bayou for the Bayou Boogaloo, but we're having a party coming up, and then...
Okay, so this is what's so confusing about
more.
you. So...
But way back then, pre-Katrina, I did release a
In 2005,
record.
you had a record under your own name, Tiana Hux.
That's right.
Is that your actual real name?
It's my real name.
That really is your real name. And Lynx Zohar is not your real name, I assume. Or
Well,
is it?
the Zohar part is.
Yes.
And the Lynx part is.
Is too. So the answer is yes, it is your real name.
But from different sources, not from my mom.
Okay. Where are they from? From both? Either of them from your mom?
The last name's from my dad, but the first name's from... that was my first clairaudient experience. Not my first, but the first one I recognized as being a clairaudient
Clairaudience is being able to hear something from another dimension.
Ultimately, that's one idea.
Well, what is it?
So, basically, I heard a voice. I was in my tent cabin. I was 19 years old. I was alone. I knew that I was alone. And I'd just come back from the mess hall. I was working there. And not in the mess hall, but in Yosemite. In a tent cabin. We were staying in a tent cabin. Okay, let's figure out the story.
Okay, so you're by yourself in a tent.
Yeah, the tent cabin.
What is a tent cabin exactly?
Well, it's got a wooden structure, but canvas walls.
Okay, so
it's
why
a
would you
tent
go to all the
cabin.
trouble of making a wooden structure and then not putting the rest of the walls in? I guess?
You know,
do you roll it up so you're sort of outside?
It just wasn't cold enough to matter.
Okay.
Nor was it strong enough to keep bears out. But I didn't have bears come in my space. But you could hear.
So it's a tent cabin. How many tent cabins are there? Like a whole.
It's a village, and then there are places that can be rented out as villages, and then others are where those of us who work there lived.
What did you do? You were like a ranger or something?
No, I cleaned cabins. I was a bed maker.
You were in the sort of what's it called? Housekeeping. Housekeeping in a tent cabin.
Well, to me, I was in the woods, and then I went into a cabin and I cleaned the cabin, and I got out of the cabin, I was back in the woods, and I walked to another cabin and I did the same thing. And I loved it.
Sounds pretty good when you're 19, I would think.
It wasn't housekeeping. It wasn't this or that.
Right.
It was like, do this, and then go back to the woods, and do this, and stay, and then you live in the woods, and you get paid to stay in the woods.
And what's the weed situation? Are you smoking a lot of weed at the time?
Well, I hadn't done a lot of that, but it was more mushrooms.
Mushrooms, okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you heard the voice.
Perfect in a tent
No,
cabin.
at that time I had not been on the mushrooms, but it was a good chance that I had opened myself up to experiencing it because of the mushrooms.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're sitting in
But I was completely
tent cabin.
sober.
Okay.
It was my day off. I went down to go see the food being made. No. I went down to go make myself some food. I saw some folks making food for themselves. They worked there also.
Making a sandwich. So.
Anything. They had something called soy milk.
Soy milk.
I didn't know anything about that, but I'd been a vegetarian since I was 12 years old.
Whoa.
Where
did you grow up, by the way? Just to interrupt you for a second.
Huh?
Where did you grow up?
California.
California, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there you are at Yosemite.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I see
watching
these
people
They're making food.
Soy milk food.
They're all dressed up to climb some mountains. Well, probably, Half Dome or, whatever they're going to do in Yosemite. They're going to go climbing, but they also work there, obviously, because they're in the place where workers are, So they're all dressed up with hooks and gear and backpacks or whatever they're doing. And they're making their breakfast, and it's granola and the soy milk stuff and stuff I didn't know about. And I'm watching them, and I realize, I'm thinking to myself, boy, do they have it all together. They've got it together, man. Look at them. They've got it together. They're going to go somewhere with all that gear.
Did you feel bad that they hadn't invited you on the mountain climbing expedition?
Well,
you had to stay home and make beds?
I didn't feel like I was ready to be anywhere near where they were. So that's what gave me this deep understanding of like, whoa, wait a minute. If I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they've got it all together, who knows what they're thinking when they look at me? Maybe I look like I've got it all together. And I'm thinking, whoa, what do I look like? Okay. Then I realized that we were all our own universes in our own minds.
What time of the day is this? This is breakfast time. You
breakfast.
Hit this thought. Okay.
Breakfast. It's a big epiphany.
Yes.
Everybody's got their own universes in their own heads. So I realize this, and it really thrills me. I'm thrilled.
And this is the morning after the mushrooms? Because that can still have an effect.
There's a chance of it, but doubtful.
Doubtful, okay.
I don't remember. I think I slept well. It hadn't been out. I just know that other things in my life had brought me to similar situations. But I was young and didn't know
You're
it.
only 19 at this point.
Yeah, so then I'm old soul. And I've figured out everyone's got their own universes in their own heads. I'm leaving that space. I'm walking down the trail to my tent cabin. Along the trail, I see a medallion on the ground. The medallion has carved into it a lynx.
A lynx?
Now, I might have thought bobcat.
Isn't it the same? They're the same, though.
Well, one is American, doesn't have as long as the points on the ears. Yeah. The tail is shorter, and they're more orangey with dots of black. The other is more gray with a varied pattern. Just to say.
Wow.
Bobcat Zohar would still be a good name.
Well, it turned out it was
you're right.
That would be nice Bobcat.
Too. Somebody took it already. Gold ring.
That was Bobcat Goldtip.
Well, it was no name that I would have myself thought of. It was nothing I would have thought of.
Bob.
I find the medallion.
Right.
I'm vegetarian. I'm curious whether this is real bone or not.
Oh, it's a medallion that looks like it's made out of bone.
Yes.
Okay.
Or horn or something.
Whoa. It might be some sort of Native American artifact, you're thinking? Or
no.
Something that...
I think it was something we sold at the
gift
store, the gift shop.
All right.
And somebody left it on the path for me to find.
All right.
Absolutely.
And I take it to my tent cabin, and I'm debating whether all of this stuff is, if it's real bone. And I'm thinking, well, it's nothing I really buy, probably made in China. The etching's very nice. It is well made. It's curious, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it while I'm sitting in the doorway of my tent cabin with the sun shining down on me, nobody in my tent, and all of a sudden I hear, "You will be called Lynx." And I flip around. I look to see who's behind me. It was a female voice. It was up at the top corner of my tent cabin, and nobody was there. I didn't say, "Who said that?" I said, "When?" And then completely forgot about it. And as psychology would tell us...
What a letdown.
And as psychology would tell us, if you experience something you can't really register because it's not normal, you will forget about it just to protect yourself in whatever fashion. So I forgot about it. Within months, I'm in San Francisco.
Can you tell us what your name was at this point?
Oh.
Or do you not go back to that?
Well, all right. Now the whole world's going to know.
You don't have to tell us.
No, you don't.
You don't have to tell us if you've left that behind you.
Well,
but you had some other name completely. I'm not going to make you do that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go back.
Okay.
When I'm leaving Yosemite, I have forgotten that I just heard a voice.
Right.
But the months go by, I forget that I heard a voice.
It was a woman's voice.
And it was a woman's voice. I get to say...
You will be called Lynx.
You will be called Lynx. You will be called Lynx.
See, the way you say that...
Yeah, and it was intense like that.
But the way you say that, it sounds more like a guy, actually.
It was just a very authoritative, or not authoritative,
she had
very...
a low voice.
Yes,
right.
You will be called Lynx. And I felt like she pointed a finger at me. You will be called Lynx.
So you didn't see anything?
No, but I felt so direct, like... shaking, looking around, going, "Who said that?" But it's like, then I felt like, all right, okay, forget about it. 3 months later, leave Yosemite. I'm in San Francisco. It's a whirlwind of woo-woo cars going by and everything. And this young guy on the side of the street says to me, and I say young guy, I'm 19, whatever. I don't know how old he was, but I'm old soul. And he says, "Hey, sister, you want me to do your animal totem cards?" And I thought,
Totemly.
Yes, totally. I'm from California, totally. Absolutely. Tell me my totem animals. And he does the reading. I'm not even paying attention because everything's just whirling around like crazy. That was very good. Loved it.
That's a good joke.
And
what drugs are you on now?
Absolutely nothing. But bliss.
Okay.
My own chemical responses to the happiness I choose.
What are you doing in San Francisco? Just hanging out, or are you going to school?
We just decided to go to San Francisco.
It was we.
She's anticipating her animal totem reading.
Yes, right.
That's why you're.
They're like,
why she's
obviously
go to San
directed.
Francisco.
There.
If you make it, they will show up. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
So
Who are you with?
I'm with some friends who were working with me in Yosemite.
Okay.
So we go to San Francisco. He does my totem animals. Well, now I'm not paying attention. Lights, colors, sounds whirling by me, and all of a sudden he goes, "Huh?" And he catches my attention. And he says, and I said, "What?" He taps on the cards, and I look down there. There's got to be like 12 different cards, and he says, "You've got a lot of Lynx energy." Lynx energy? Seriously, 12 different cards, and all of a sudden, boop, 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 all my synapses. Boop, 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 ah. I remember I heard a voice in the tent cabin in Yosemite telling me he'd be called Lynx. And I just reached down and I said, well, I told him the story. I heard a voice. It said, doo-doo. And he reached up to me and he said, well, nice to meet you, Lynx. And from there, I continued on with having everybody.
Very nice. That's a great story.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, Mom, Dad.
How long ago was that?
Oh, I'm
a
many
long
years
time ago.
older
now.
now.
Because you were 19. So whatever it was quite a way back.
Yes.
And you've been Lynx ever since.
Sure enough.
Okay, John, how did you get to be called John?
Yeah, John.
Let's go around the table.
Well, I was born Leo, and I didn't like the word Leo at that time.
Is that true?
No.
Just go for another cat.
And you heard a
My
voice.
mother and my father gave it to me. It was the ordinary way.
So you didn't hear a voice telling you you'll be called John?
No, I hadn't heard a voice yet.
Nothing yet?
Not yet.
Well, that's a good question, though. And Tiana, well, that's an extremely unusual name,
Yeah, that's nice.
isn't it?
That is a family name.
Is it Russian?
Greek.
Greek. I
Greek.
wouldn't have guessed that.
And my family last name was Malevitus, and that's the name of my
That's your band
name now.
Malevitus.
But I also renamed myself MC Sweetie, if you're nasty.
Right. It's very hard to keep your sort of career together because
I'm saying it's extremely difficult to keep
Yeah.
a career together. Lynx,
What?
you know.
I can't.
You know, John, you seem like you've got it together.
John has it totally together.
Nice. We can point out John seems to have it together.
Yeah. You should see what John does if you're online and you can look at this while we're checking this out. John's got his website is johnflemming.com, I believe, and Flemming has 2 M's. John makes beautiful art out of leather. Mostly masks and other stuff as well.
Well, I worked with leather for quite a while. And it gave me a way to travel.
Since before Lynx was Lynx, actually.
Since before Lynx was Lynx. Yeah,
It's a new
quite a
saying,
bit
since
before.
before Lynx was Lynx.
Yeah. So it's sort of back in time. It's BL, before Lynx.
Yeah.
So you started in the 70s? You were making your
Yes,
first stuff?
yes.
Because I read on this bio, this is the first time anyone's ever sent me a photo of a bio. Graham,
I know because I don't send them out much. I had to
just took a
find
photo.
one, so I took a picture of it.
Look at this. It's really great. There's a photo of a bio from some time back that Graham DePonte sent me, our producer. And it says here that you started making leather stuff in 1971.
Yes.
Which is a long time ago.
Yes.
And also it says in India.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know about you, which I thought was curious because leather is made from cows and cows are
Right.
sacred.
Well, there are not only
In India.
Hindus there. There are
Here's
also
John's
Muslims.
masks here. Look at this.
Ooh,
Very beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Sorry for interrupting you, but Xerox just got these beautiful masks, aren't they? They're really works of art.
John, do you have a shop down in the French Quarter? Because I feel like I've been in there and seen your stuff.
I had a man who represented me for years, for about 30 years, and now there's a small shop that has some smaller pieces in it.
Where do you sell mostly? At festivals? And
I travel around the country. I do festivals in different parts of the country, and then I do the Jazz Festival, usually here.
right.
And most of my work goes out of the city, and I've been doing it a long time.
Okay, so go back to 1971 and you're in India.
Yeah.
Are you just traveling around?
Well, I had been in India a while. I traveled across to, Asia, Afghanistan, Iran, all of that. And when we got to India, I was broke. So I was in Goa, which was the beginning of a scene in India which was
Psychedelic.
hippie heaven.
We're back on
And,
the psychedelics.
So I was on the Marrakesh Express going the other direction. And so we got there, and I had to make some money, so I met a Mexican-American guy. He was making sandals on the beach. And I had an idea I saw when I was in Bombay before I got to Goa. I was in the Muslim section, which is where they make all the leather goods, where they tan leather, where they dye leather, where they do everything. The Hindus don't do it.
What's the deal
they
with
wear it,
what's
but
the
they
deal
don't
with
do
the
it.
cows?
They don't eat them, but they use leather. They wear leather
But they're not
sandals.
killing cows, though, right? They're not slaughtering
They
them.
it's a complicated system they arrange so that it gets done.
And that's when, that was in the 70s, because now India has taken to killing cows in great fashion for
really?
quick money
Really?
Oh, I don't.
for American leather companies.
Wow. I thought cows wandered
Sadly.
down the street there.
Sadly.
Well, they do walk around the streets. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Do
then
they
they get grounded up. Well, anyway.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
ground up.
I meant to say they get herded up, and then all of that happens.
Rounded up, I think. you
Yeah,
said.
that's what I
So-
meant.
Right. But have you been to India recently, Lynx?
No,
Okay.
but I know a lot
Some-
of people from there. I deal with a lot of monks and nuns within the tantric faith of Ananda Marga. Wow.
Ananda Marga?
Yeah,
I can't find
Okay. Anand-
that's another note. But
Isn't
it is
Ananda
sad.
Marga some sort of weird cult?
Sure is.
What is that all about?
No,
It's
just
not-
kidding.
it's-
It's not.
Another
No,
Marga's shoe cult.
Ananda Marga.
Isn't it some sort of...
So that's Imelda Marcus.
No, that's Imelda
Sorry,
Marcus.
sorry.
That's another good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Shoe cult.
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah,
A lot of people are in that.
Totally
You
different
too.
thing.
Thank
Totally
you.
different thing. Totally different.
Okay, we'll get on to an Undermago in a minute. But
Okay.
so there you are in 1971 making sandals on the beach.
So I went back to Bombay, and I bought a lot of cobra skins, and they were every color. And so I went back and I made some belts out of it. And I thought they looked really nice. They wrapped around your waist, and the tail hung down. The tail was hanging down. So the guy said, well, where are you going to sell them? And I went back up to Bombay, and I told him, I'm going to go to the most expensive hotel in Bombay, and I'm going to go to the gift shop, and I'm going to see if they'll buy them. And if they don't, I'm going to go to the second most expensive hotel in Bombay, and I'm going to go to their gift shop, and then I'm going to see how much I can get. Well, it was the Taj Mahal Hotel where I went first, which I knew best. The Oberoi was the other big one. And the gift shop bought them.
All right.
So I had some change, so I went and bought some more cobra skins, and I went back down to Goa. And I did this 2 or 3 times.
And had anyone taught you how to make leather stuff at this point, or you just...
I had never touched it before.
You just started
I
doing
had made a bladder for a fuel pump of an old 49 Ford I was driving back from Indiana once, but no, I had never touched it before. And then I had to figure out a way to make a living because I wanted to travel. And I figured I'd have to
Had
be
you
able
thought
to
about going
do...
to college or anything like that?
Oh, I already finished college.
You finished with all that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got a Bachelor of Fine Arts and stuff. I taught school a year, and then I went. Well, then I went and I got to New Delhi with that money. And I went and I bought a cow skin, and I cut it and I made a travel bag. And it had a lot of beads I had from Afghanistan and fringe hanging all over. It was like a big postman's bag, but really nice looking. And all I had was a hole punch and a knife I'd gotten from a rug maker in Kabul. Right. And so I said, well, if I could figure out a way to make a living and stay on the road and make something in a hotel room, I'll get to the next step, what I want to do with my life. So a guy saw the bag and in the next hotel room, and he ordered one. So I stayed another week, 2 weeks in New Delhi. I made him one, and that got me to Kathmandu. No, they got me to Varanasi. And then this progressed, and that's how I did for traveling. And I went back to Europe, and I did it on the streets of Paris and south of France. And one thing led to another, and I started making what I thought were pretty nice things. And I did my first art show in Avignon in France. And this was in 1974. And it had a... kind of like a craft fair you'd have in America here, outside the ramparts.
So in 3 years, you'd gone from just making your very first thing to now having your own art show in France.
I was driven. No, I didn't have an art show. I was part of a craft show.
Okay.
I got involved with an organization of American artists who are living in Paris. And the government in France is very strict about who gets to do one thing or another money-wise, any kind of commerce. So within this group, a woman... made an umbrella group, so about 5 of us could show our work. So I went down and did it, and I lived with some theater people who were from La Mama Theater Company in New York, and they were performing, and I was doing this, and I just had my first little girl was born, and she was about 3 months old, and I made enough money to get back to the States. So I brought everybody back to the States.
It's a pretty romantic story, isn't it, Tiana? Are you coming up with something to top this now?
Beautiful.
And then I got back here, and we came to New Orleans the first time. It was 72 I came before I went back to India, yeah. I was in New Orleans once, I told you about Eddie Kurtz, my friend Eddie.
In 1972.
I came for a couple of months before I went to South America for a couple of years.
Wow.
Did you save one of those belts for yourself?
I don't have one. No, I gave them all once the thing's done, I'm not real connected.
Understood. That'd be cool.
No, I'm interested, but I'm not real connected in the sense of having to have it in my hands anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we have to stop for a second because, Tiana,
yeah,
I don't think these guys even know what you sound like other than a couple of words you've said.
So we're making cool jokes with them at the happy hour.
So
talking about doing
I want these guys to hear what you do. So just give us a sort of a brief recap, because as I was saying, it is confusing. You were Tiana Hux for a while, which is your real name.
I still am. I'm
Okay.
also I'm Tiana Hux Dews is my married name.
Oh, you got
I
married to
hyphenated.
somebody in the meantime.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
married. So Tiana Hux Dews is now my
D-E-W-E-S.
D-E-W-S. That's the way you spell Dews. Woo!
Dews. Okay, it's like Jews, except with a D.
Like morning dews.
Okay. Oh, it's like the dew. Okay.
It's Hux Dews, though. I really like the two of them together.
Hux Dews.
So
I'm going to write that on the tablecloth. Hux Dews.
So
That does look good. Okay, but you're using that as well, because now it's hyphenated.
No,
Hux Dews. Not hyphenated.
It's not hyphenated.
It's
I said
Asher,
hyphen,
it's
though,
not
didn't
hyphenated.
I? I said hyphen, but it's not hyphenated.
It's not hyphenated.
No.
Okay, so it's Tiana Hux Dews, which is a great name, but you're not recording under that name.
No,
This is where it's very confusing. So the record that I really like, which is a classic album called
Thank you.
Story,
Thank
which
you.
is really a classic album, is recorded in 2005, and that's under the name of Tiana Hux.
That is.
And that's on Spotify. If you listen to this and you want to find out what the hell I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and go and listen to this record called Story from beginning to end. It's really an exceptional record.
Thank you.
I'm surprised because it doesn't sound like anything else at the time or even now. It's completely original.
It really got a little washed out in Katrina. I made
Right.
it, and we released it
Well, that was a
literally
bad-
weeks before
Forgot about
the
that.
storm, and I was making this work here. I had this. Speaking of mushrooms, I was having a vision at a hip-hop show that I needed to become a rapper. I was like, oh, that is it. I was making performance art in college.
Did you really have a vision?
I did. I really sincerely had a vision, and I always loved rap music, and I was making all this interactive performance art and theater and, kind of the call and response aspect of it. And
Well, what did the vision look like?
it looked like I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to stop.
Well, when you say
working
vision,
on
was it a person talking
It was
to you?
me. No, it was like me doing it.
Ah, you saw yourself as a rap.
Right.
As a rapper, so I started to
Okay.
work on that, and I came here, and so it was.
Oh, where
it had
was
to
that?
do with
Where did you
this
have-
was in Austin.
In
I was
Austin,
living in
okay.
Austin at the time, and I was starting to make work here and make performance art here, and so I was starting to have my life. There's such an opening that I felt, such reception in this community, in this space, artistically. So. Just rich and incredible, and so I just felt like, okay, I could do that here. And at the same time, I saw this amazing, beautiful burlesque show, and it was kind of like at the very start of the neo burlesque thing. A group called the Shimshimettes, and they were at what is now One Eye Jacks.
Shim-Sham.
The
Right.
Shim-Sham, the Shimshimettes,
Right.
and I said, that's it. I'm gonna be a rapper, and I'm gonna have a burlesque show. So I had this vision, and I moved here, and I realized it, and it was kind of
So you
peaking
did
out.
that.
We were having a great time, and this was 2005, and doing great shows. And then 3 weeks later, you know what happened. I was like, wow.
We all got destroyed. Was it the universe trying to tell you something?
I don't know.
Do you believe that sort of thing?
Was
Like
it?
Lynx
What was
does?
the universe telling all of us? I mean, we all went through it, right? I mean, it's the universe telling the whole world that the climate is changing, and we're on the forefront of it here in our city, and it was so, unique thing that happened here when it happened 10 years ago, and now it's happened in Puerto Rico last year, and in Houston, and then it's in Sandy in New York, and it's like all over the Gulf Coast.
It's been more than 10 years now.
You're
been
so
almost
right.
13
It's been more than 10 years.
It's been 13.
And now
Yeah.
check it. You know what happened, what my parents said when they heard that Katrina was going to hit New Orleans? I think we're in California. They said that one's going to be a bad storm.
Are they meteorologists?
No.
They also hear voices.
Interesting.
They also hear voices.
How long before the storm did they say that? 'Cause
They
pretty
knew
much
it.
everybody-
Clairaudient? Is that what?
Though it's spelt differently, that is my birth-given name.
Clairaudient. Claire.
Katrina.
Whoa.
No. Okay.
I guess it was great. I waited.
That really is a fantastic piece of timing, wasn't
That
it?
was wonderful.
Yes.
Go on.
With the scene.
Go on.
That's-
Go
Coming
on. Go on.
around.
It
That
is.
goes. That's got to be a highlight of the whole happy hour forever. That's
Wow.
genius.
And I didn't even know I'd eventually be living here and hear everyone talk about, how devastating it was. And then remembering my mom said, and
Like,
my
Mom
grandma
and Dad,
said.
why'd you say that?
Yeah.
Why'd you make that happen
Yeah,
for me?
yeah.
Okay, so now...
They knew it because I was powerful.
Exactly.
I had to come here.
Exactly.
I had to be here.
That is crazy. Okay, so Tiana,
Yeah.
MC Sweet Tea,
That's right.
Malevitus.
Yes, all of them.
What the hell?
Why not?
What are we talking
Yeah.
about?
Why
here?
not?
What about MC?
Jay-Z, Sean Carter, Marshall Mathers, Eminem. It's very traditional for rappers to have more than
Right,
one name
okay.
and different
And
monikers.
Malevitus.
Keep people guessing. Oh, what? And it also keeps people confused and very hard to draw.
It's very hard to sort of...
Yeah.
It's not
You
good
know.
for marketing purposes, which
And
is...
that's always been a
That's
problem
the
for me.
problem.
The marketing has always been an issue.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you need to straighten up here and get one
Well,
persona.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe management would be a good idea. Do you have any management?
No, that would probably be a good
anyway,
idea.
listen, I'm going to make you listen to this. Now, what are you going to sing for us here?
Well, I got a little song. It's called Yes. Management is a good idea. And other parenthetical words.
Right. The song's called Yes.
It's called Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Check it out.
Happy hour at the Wayfare. What up, y'all? Happy hour. It's New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? It's New Orleans. Yeah, please. Got some backup on there. At the Wayfare. Don't forget. It's cool. It's just the lead-in. This is just the lead-in. Don't worry. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. That's what I say all the time. It's going to get better. Fricky, fresh, as complicated as I wanna be. Get up and turn off friend TV. Because I'm standing right in front of you. Laptop, cell phones, just put them down, dude. Jam, like that kind you spread on breakfast toast. Damn, when do they play it on the radio? Hypnotized by glamazons, I get paid to speak the truth. Broke and then recycle into something new. Anywho, ain't no biggie, it's just what I do. Not on the TV, I am in front of you. Heart inside my hand and through the pen, and then we might it. I thought about you when I made it, hope you like it. Priceless. Now I got you thinking that I'm pretty sweet. T sees you looking awfully thirsty, it hurts me. But y'all, it really ain't about me. There's the bar. Do you wanna know what I think? Yes, is the name of the song I wrote. You wanna hear it on the radio? No corporation paid me to say. Wasn't thinking about fame on my name when I made it. Fresh, that's the name of my song. That's what I'm singing all day long. Get up and turn off friend TV. I want for you to sing with Sweet Tea. No, doesn't mean a damn thing. Oh, we know how to make it way more interesting. Show you the list of stuff we gotta do. Sound like your ma, because I'm telling you, don't wanna feel bad about yourself. It just feels better when I spit it out. It's like a bad taste. You're killing me. Infotainment on the web is lame, same on the TV. Feel me? You think you like it cause it sounds old school. You sing it with me cause it make you feel really cool. Off the press cause we can't just play the old one. Did our best, made it fresh, so you're yelling, play the new one. It's fun. That's where I am and where I'm gonna be. Song keeps playing in my head as I'm laying down to sleep. In your dreams, you don't think, you just do what you like. Break it up as you go, write it down. Am I right? Yes. Yes. No. Hey. It's like you've never heard it. Fresh. And I think that you deserve it. Freshy fresh. It's like yes, like you knew it all along. Dude, you gotta write your own song. Like a dog, you see me picking at this bone. I see you nodding, so I know I can't be wrong. Catalyst, understand. It ain't about my life. Into this, feeling grand. Lay my head down at night and load it up because we gotta go. You never hear it on the radio. I don't know, moving on. Got no more time for this. Write it down so I can remember it. Audio's been the most. Bye-bye and Malevitus ain't the do with the goat and the boat I'm waving from the train. Yes, yes, my name, MC Sweet Tea is my name.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Lynx, what did you think about that?
Well, I have to say,
Ooh, John's son's a rapper too, but please.
No. John, you're a rapper too?
Stepson.
Yes.
Oh, stepson.
He's not with
It's still in the family.
Lynx, you're a singer-songwriter
Yes.
as well.
What?
Yes. I'm not singing anything. I didn't know that I was going to sing anything. I don't know if I'm going to sing anything. But
Good.
all I know
Yeah,
is
this would be
that
cool.
I love rapping too.
Yeah, girl.
And I like burlesque. And I went to burlesque show because now I'm in New Orleans. Shall I say New Orleans? And I went to the burlesque show, and I was like, oh my God, I would love to do music for these shows. And there you are doing rap and the burlesque shows. I didn't put those two together, but now I see that that's possible. And I'm not going to go, I have no idea what's going to come from this moment forward.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna get with the burlesque
Yes.
and do your song with them too, just like you said. You're like, like, oh, I want to do that, so you're gonna do it, right?
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm still starstruck after what you just did.
Yay!
Yeah.
Perfect. You're so Lynxy,
Yes.
Lynx. I'm so excited to hear that.
Okay. All right.
That's very impressive to be able to sit there and do that, isn't it?
I love
Just
it.
to be able to...
Well, I'm usually like on a stage and stuff, so
Right.
you're like,
It's
it's
very
usually like a little
intimidating
bit of
with all
like,
this.
a little more, distance, but it's fun to do it at this table in this way that's conversational and it's like telling you a story because that's the whole purpose of a rap.
Is there
to tell
any
a
way
story,
to
right?
do? Is there any way to do a couple of lines from "Jesus Is My Sugar Daddy" song?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it right now if you don't want to.
All
but
right.
You
I'd
want to
like
think
to
about
hear
it?
it.
Now think
it's
about
a really
that.
great song.
Okay, great. Yay.
I know you don't. Doing requests is probably.
I would hear.
And you. So,
We all did.
sort one other thing out for us here, Tiana. What was your connection to this movie, Waking Life?
It was great.
Oh,
It was around the same time that I was coming to New Orleans and starting to find my life here and my voice here. I was in Austin after going to art school there and doing a lot of film, doing a lot of video, and working within the communities doing film and video. There's so much film in Austin. It's a wonderful place for that. And was just in the mix with a lot of people and the
Richard Linklater.
Richard Linklater. So the casting director for Rick Linklater was a friend and a mutual friend, and she saw a performance art that I did. I did like an evening piece, and it's funny, I did a piece called Yes, No, and it was like asking all of these questions, and then the answer was either yes or no, or I was asking the audience different things. So this was kind of like at the same time.
I don't want a straw.
He's quoting me from Waking Life.
It's my absolute favorite movie of all time. I'm not even joking.
Come on.
I love
How about
Waking Life. Yeah.
Isn't it a trip
You-
where you're like,
you're in-
oh no, you're that person. I've met people at bars a
You're
lot
in my
who are
dreams,
like,
aren't you,
oh my
Tabitha?
God.
You're in my dreams. You're the one who helps wake me up from my clock being set, and you pitch the live opera. No, the live talk show.
Yes, it's like a soap opera.
The live soap
and I feel
opera.
like that's really what Facebook became,
Yeah, wow.
Thomas,
soap
how about
opera.
that?
No, that's amazing.
That's
like,
pretty
no, this
crazy.
is my absolute favorite movie. I watch it all the time.
Wow.
I like
This
your
is so
her
great.
scene is like
Of course
top
he does.
two
Of course he has.
in the movie. It's not
So
number
do you
one.
have a lot
with
of-
a
do you have
bullet.
Well,
fans
this is what's really
around-
fun. You get to hear like the more of the story
And I was like
on
sitting
it.
here like
You
trying
get
to
hear-
figure out where your voice is from as soon as you said that. I was like, which one is she?
Yes,
'Cause
I've
I
actually
know
met people in
all the
bars
monologue.
who recognize me from my voice
Yeah.
in the movie and are like, "Whoa, this is happening to me."
So you're like
here.
a cult. You're like a cult figure from that movie. People like Thomas in love
It's
with
so
you.
cool because it's animated. So it's all these
Right.
people and they're in this
But
dream.
just stop for
and
one
so
second. Did you have anything to do with the creation of that
I
movie?
did.
So
I did.
what's your connection? to it? 'Cause it's
I
just-
created my part because,
Okay.
so like I said, the casting director was a mutual friend, and she saw this piece that I did, this piece with other artists, and it was like an evening length thing. And so she said, "Oh, will you come in and audition for us for this thing?" So she told me, a couple of, they had kind of a structure written, and then people had space to improvise within that. So I went in, I prepared something, and I went in, and Rick and why am I spacing on her name? But she's just great, Lizzie Martinez. They said, "Oh, we don't know how you fit into this, but we love you and we want you to be in it." So then Rick and I had some sessions, maybe like 4 or 5 sessions, where we would talk for like an hour, and so we created this my part in the film, and so
okay.
it's like we wrote me into the film. It was a unique.
Wow!
I don't want to be an ant.
No, I don't want to be an ant. And it's so fun too. The woman who animated me, so I knew a lot of the artists who were the animators and painters on it, because there were just tons and tons of artists. Took 14 hours for like a minute to happen in Austin.
Oh, it's awesome.
And Rick is a great filmmaker there.
You're one of these people that you meet in New Orleans who you have no idea who the hell these people are until you start talking to them. You realize that you're one of these people who've done all kinds of amazing stuff.
It's happy hour.
Yeah.
When you're like,
it's
yay,
extraordinary.
That's why I live here. It's
this
so
film,
fun.
This film is incredible, and that album of yours is incredible.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here with such esteemed guests. And
it's exciting. And
having happy hours. Really
I've watched that movie at least 24 times, if not more than that.
I love that.
So what happens when you do something like that? And have you gone on to do other? Has Richard Linklater called you about doing anything else, or did it help your career at all?
I jumped over here. It was like at the time I was starting to come over here to fulfill this vision that I had of being a rapper, and
right.
I've seen Rick other times, but I moved here really at the same time that the film came out to do this
what
music.
What made you move here and not Hollywood, for example?
To make this, to rap and
right.
make this burlesque, make this performance art with, rap and burlesque and, actors and, clowns and acrobats now and like a cast, so I love it. It's so fun to work with other people and work with what they do.
When you had that vision of the future and you saw yourself in the future, is that what you've become?
Absolutely.
Did you become that vision?
Yeah.
Have you had that experience?
You remind me of a very good friend. She's a clown and a stilt walker, and she body painter, and she lives in Montgomery, but she's here a lot. So.
I got to meet her.
Her name's Kim, but it's pretty interesting. You got the same energy.
New Orleans.
See, Lynx, that says
the kids too. It's the thing with the kids also. People who work with kids.
Do you work with kids?
I do.
I love working with
she
kids.
does also. Yes.
What do you do?
And kids too.
Yeah.
Clowning, and then I was having a kid party business in Austin, like Mary Poppins. I was doing Mary Poppins parties.
Okay.
Mary Poppins.
You played Mary Poppins.
So, I married Poppins too.
You and Mary Poppins too?
Yes.
What do you mean by that, Lynx?
What?
I know, what? You're my new best friend.
Yes.
Jinx!
Yes.
Lynx! Buy me a Coke!
Right. Okay, I will. But I don't want to. I want to buy you something healthy.
Right, I don't really drink Coke. It's cool.
What's Mary Poppins refer to, Lynx, in your world?
What's that?
What does Mary Poppins refer to for you?
Oh my gosh, I love working with children. I'm orderly. I can communicate with them on the level of like, hey, little star bean, I see you. You see me? See me seeing you?
Yes.
And then we're like, yeah, I see you. We see each other, and it's really fantastic. And on that level, then we get into deeper stuff, and we start just enjoying life.
Absolutely.
And it's the playfulness, and then it's, we've got to clean the room because Mom said so. Well, gosh, let's see. What needs cleaning? All right, I'll fold those. You fold that. You don't know how to fold? Folding's so much fun. Let's fold. Let's put some music on. Let's sing when we're folding. And that's where the Mary Poppins comes in. I was a nanny.
Absolutely.
I'd been a nanny.
I still am.
We're always nannies. I had once been a nanny, and I'm still a nanny. Ain't no stopping.
Ain't no stopping this nanny.
Are you really a nanny, Tiana, for real?
I really am a nanny. Yeah, I love it. And I work with children. It's great here. I work with my best friends. I nanny for my best friends. So it's really beautiful because, beyond the client, relationship is a lifetime of friendship and
right. You see him grow up.
Beautiful.
Okay, so Lynx, what do you do on a sort of daily basis? Is any of these things a job? Can I read through these?
Okay.
This is what it says in your bio that Graham, our producer, gave me. It says that you're a metaphysician. Shall I just do one at a time, or should we go through all of them and pick one?
Oh, I guess let's go one at a time. Or do you want to go through?
I'm going to go through all of them.
Okay,
how about this? And then somebody else can pick one. See where you want to start. Okay. Metaphysician, massage therapist / healer, animal whisperer, CNA. I don't know what CNA stands for.
Nurse's assistant, certified nurse assistant.
Certified nurse assistant. Here's a good one. Death doula.
Yeah. It's like a birth doula.
Nanny. Well, we just did that, Nanny. Singer-songwriter, storyteller, inventor, emotionally intelligent, time-jumping dream traveler, and an indigo starseed flower child.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Do you take apprenticeships for that whole, like, dream traveler thing? Because I'm kind of already there.
All right. Okay.
So,
okay.
John, you want to pick one of these to start with? Do you want to have a refresher? Here's the list. Pick one of these. Seeing you and Lynx know each other already from tips.
I want to hear about the dream travel.
Okay.
Dream traveler. Okay, starting with dream travel.
All right. Okay, so let's go way out there, little people.
Okay.
And basically it comes down to this. At one point I found that I was doing lucid dreaming. And lucid dreaming was very fantastic.
Which is the subject of Waking Life for those of you who are not on board with that whole train.
Yahoo!
Just to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
That's why he wanted to know more. Okay, so here we go. So, lucid dreaming is the idea. Now, I only say idea because we could come up with a lot of ideas of what's happening when that happens. But the idea around lucid dreaming that most people agree on is that you have awareness of being in the dream. You can motivate within the dream on command, move things, do things as you can in this waking world. So I was doing that a lot. And I actually got in a lot of trouble. And that's just another story. And then I found out that there's astral police and they come and get you and you get in trouble.
You got in trouble in another dimension.
What? More about that, please.
Yeah.
I'm a troublemaker. I get into trouble frequently, troublemaking.
Yes.
What is with astral
Right? Well, that's why I got in
police?
trouble.
You were in trouble in another dimension
What
in your
happened?
in your lucid dreaming.
Lynx, what happened?
What were you doing?
Okay. Well, now, I actually can't go into those details.
Were you
They won't let you?
No,
Were you having an
because
affair with
I'm
somebody?
in jail over there.
Were you having an affair with somebody in your dreams?
I'm in jail over there.
Did you
and
steal
I'm
stuff?
innocent. Okay. Basically, there's a bus station. Okay? Imagine there's people standing and sitting at the bus. Someone's at a bench and he's sitting. He's reading, or he's sitting at the bus station. There's a
This
woman.
is a bus station in another world.
Yes, in my dream.
Okay. Yes.
This is only an example. I truly am not even going to go into the details of my discrepancies. I'm not.
We don't have to get to details, but the broad strokes would be good.
That's where I'm going with
Okay.
it. Okay. It was personal.
Okay.
It really broke my heart because afterwards I realized what I had done. Okay. So, and that's my business. Just saying.
Okay.
I learned my lesson, okay?
Oh,
okay.
man.
Do you want to
I
have
know,
a
it
bet
was-
what this is?
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay, all right. So you've got a bus station. You've got a man sitting on a bench and a woman standing holding a book. I walk over. I see the book she's reading. I want that book. It's my dream. I'm going to have that book. I grab that book out of her hand, and she pulls. Well, I want that book. It's my dream. Why are you pulling? Give me that book. I'm going to take that book. This is my dream. I'm in it. I feel it. Feel me?
Give me
Feel
that
me?
book.
Feel me?
Give me
Give me
that
that book.
book. I
Give me
want
that
that
book.
book. No,
Right?
it's my book.
Okay. So I take the book. Well, in the struggle of taking the book, the dream disseminated. What happened on the other side was a man sitting on a bench watching a woman being jerked around and being pushed aside and her book being thrown on the ground. And he goes, oh my God, what the hell just happened? I just said hell. Sorry about that. What the hell just happened? And she, because I don't know, oh my God, I was just holding my book and I just felt something pulling on it and then I just let go. That's what was going on in that reality. After I went in and so rudely decided my part was far more important. What I learned from that, though, was that I was really there. And those people really did feel me. And those people are aspects of myself, extensions of myself, extensions of my psyche, playing out the same creative source like we all are. There's one big creative source, and the source has us all take all of these different forms and all our
Absolutely.
different propensities,
Absolutely.
all our, everything coming together, and we're all the same being in all our different ways. So, after I had that experience, I didn't have lucid dreams again. I started having something else, which became even far more greater, but I had to earn it. Like, I really missed lucid dreaming, and I knew that I had misbehaved. I just ruined it. And, like, that's how, and, like, I don't get to have them anymore. Okay, fine. But what I woke up to was the fact that I had affected another reality. So what was happening to me in this reality, I was having all kinds of similar things happen to me as you and I, all of us sitting at this table, would be sitting here.
Are you getting to a point here?
Sure enough.
Okay, we're getting to the point of the infraction.
No, we're not going there.
We're not talking about the infraction.
We're talking about dream travel.
The book thing, that wasn't the infraction?
No, we're talking about
so
dream travel.
we're not going to get on to the broad strokes of the infraction, which is what I thought we were talking about.
That is so funny. He asked about dream traveling. He asked about dream traveling.
I thought you were going to tell us what you did that was so bad in the other dimension that you're in jail in another dimension.
And what was so bad about you shaking up that
I was
book
completely
with
on
yourself?
board.
This
is like you're like 80% there, 90% there.
I'm almost there.
So look.
So it's about dream traveling and time jumping. What happened was...
Time jumping.
Yes, time jumping.
Okay.
Now, I started seeing my dreams differently. Basically, what I found was when I would go into a dream, I knew that I was now actively participating through the eyes of selves. I was no longer lucid dreaming. I then was participating. Sorry. I moved away from the mic.
You got to obey that rule on this reality.
Okay. So, yeah. I would go into different realities. I would know that I was in the reality.
At will?
Well, no.
Or just by chance?
By chance is the other thing, is that I would find myself in the different realities, and I would go, oh, I'm here again. But...
Have you ever considered that you're, like, crazy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And is there any truth to that?
Good answer.
Is there any truth to that, or are you not crazy? Is it real, or is it all just...
It is so
some
real.
Sort of,
it's so real.
It's real. Okay.
Yes. You and I, we're all sitting at this table. All of a sudden, this pen gets jerked off and thrown over there. I should say that wasn't jerked.
That would be...
I didn't mean that. It was jerked out of the hand. Jerked out of the hand. That's all I meant. That's all I meant. And we would just all go, what?
If that really had happened, but you took the pen out of my hand and threw it over.
Now, the thing is,
totally.
this kind of stuff used to happen to me all the time.
Well, you just took the pen out of my hand and threw it on the store.
Nobody took
like
it out of my hand.
You're like, you will be Lynx, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're saying the pen in your world just flies across the room.
By itself. Okay. I would have things move by itself all the time. Now, others might say, oh, that was a ghost. But I knew energetically I was being talked to by my... at the time, I just said spirit. But you could say spirit guides. And then I finally realized it was my higher self. It was an aspect of being playing with a me in this being and this life, having this fun little cocktail party in the afternoon.
Well, can you do that at will?
No.
So even your higher self can't control your lower self.
The thing is other times that these things would happen, like the fact that John is here.
Yes.
And that I met you in the nut section.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I met you in the nut section.
At
Am I
Hofstra.
crazy?
And Tippetina's. That's where I'm headed to do my next show.
Right. So we know all of these things line up and sync together. So we're actually aspects of the same dream reality.
Are we all connected, every single being on the planet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all one cell.
Okay.
Divided, and then some's getting cancerous, and some's becoming white blood cells, some's being red blood cells.
Okay, so what subject are we on here? We're on
the dream jumping.
Time jumping.
Time jumping.
Okay.
I'll give you an example of the time jumping.
All right.
So, I am 8 years old, and I'm living with my aunt. My mother has gone off to the army.
Oh.
Well, that's a good one right there. Your mother went off to the army and left you with your aunt. What about, where's your dad at this point?
Wow.
My mom and dad split when I was 3.
Your mom and dad split up when you were 3, and then your mom left to go to the army.
Yes,
when I was 8. She must be a real
8.
patriot.
Oh.
Why did she want to do
Fox
that?
News.
Why did your mom want...
Coffee, cigarettes, Fox News. Anyway.
Why did you want to leave an 8-year-old kid behind and join the army if she was a solo mom?
That's what my next door neighbor is doing too.
All right.
God love them, but
your next door neighbor is a single mother who's gone off to join the army and left the kids
That's
behind.
her plan. I hope she changes her mind. But
how old are the kids?
It's a baby.
Why did your mom leave?
She's just got. Is it a boy or girl?
A boy.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
She's just strengthening her warrior side because she's taken on a boy, and maybe the dad won't stick around. It's the truth.
Wow.
And what was the explanation for why your mom left you with your aunt to go and join
My
the
dad was out of the picture, and my mom was strengthening her warrior side. And I was going to have a boy.
Okay.
Well, my dad always wanted boys, so he'd always have our hair cut short. I mean, he was military, and it was weird.
Oh.
But
your dad was military, and your mom joined the army. That's interesting.
yeah.
Right there.
Later,
okay.
yeah.
Where did she go in the army? Did she travel?
She went out to learn how to drive the big rigs, the big trucks and stuff, and big.
And what did you think? You were 8 years old. What did you think about that at the time?
I thought, this is neat.
Cool?
I'm living with my aunt and my uncle. They're like a mom and dad. They've got it together. They're pretty stable, and this is fun.
Nice.
Swimming pool. And
that helps a kid.
All right. So that worked out pretty good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're 8 years old. You're living with your aunt, and then what? We're going to get on
How
to
you gonna time jump?
Time jumping.
You jump.
Yeah.
You jump.
Okay. Within this house that I was living in, there was the living room. You moved into the dining room and kitchen. There's a little hallway into the family room, and other bedrooms on the other side of the house. But the family room, my sister and I had been given to stay in while my mom was in the army. That was our room. The threshold in that hallway was always a weird feeling for me. There was a bathroom there and the door to the garage. I would have to walk that space, and I'd freak out all the time. Well, one day we were going to the drive-in movies because they were drive-in movies. That's my age.
That's how long ago that was.
And my aunt, everybody went through my room or our room, through the slider doors to get to the furniture, the lawn furniture, to take to the drive-in movies. We go through this house.
Okay, I'm still with you. Okay,
from the pool. The pool's on the back side where the family room is. There's slided doors. There's the pool. They get the lawn furniture. They go through the house.
We
the
should
entire
really
house.
do like a floor plan to get this straight.
This is the truth. This is the truth.
Is it very?
Okay.
Is it important that we know all this information?
It is.
Nice.
It is.
I'm not sure why we need to know this.
It's very relative.
It is.
It's very relative.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are.
Yeah.
This is how it goes.
I'm interested to know what a family room is compared to
family
a
room is
living
where
room.
they would put the pool table. It was big.
So this is a pretty sort of wealthy family.
Would that be called a billiard room?
So
yes.
So you landed on your feet here with this wealthy aunt.
Sure enough. And
Is
here's
that your mom's sister?
Here's the front door. Yeah, stable family.
Nice.
Okay.
Here's the front
Here's
door.
the front door. Okay.
And you would go through here.
Yep.
This is the dining room, and here's the kitchen, and
Okay.
here's that hallway. But the hallway's slimmer, and that's to the garage.
Did they add this
and that's
on,
a
or was
bathroom.
this the original floor
The
plan
original.
when they bought the house? Okay.
And this is the bedroom we were in, and these are the sliding glass doors, and here's those are the extra rooms, and here's swimming pool and
here's
whatever.
a pool and everything, and outdoor furniture
Yeah.
is here. I see.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
now we've got that straight. We only have a few minutes to go. So
Okay. Now, so we're going through. We get all the furniture gets into the back of the truck.
Right, we're taking the
In
furniture
slow
from by the
motion.
pool through the
Slow
whole house.
motion time
This is very
jumping.
important.
You have to walk
So,
through the whole house to get the
gotta go
furniture
through the
into the
whole
car
house.
to go to the drive.
Now-
Why do you take furniture to a drive-in movie, by the way?
We don't know. But through this threshold, I would always
I've never
freak
been
out.
to a drive-in
That
movie.
detail's not important.
I would always freak. I would freak
weird
out right
place.
I thought
there.
that was the sort
Weird-
of driving
weird
force of the
feeling.
whole thing, but okay.
It's
So-
a red herring to this story.
Now, pay attention, children.
Yeah, okay, well, listen. Yeah.
Getting off
Hallways
topic. Okay.
are portals. Hallways
Hallways
and
are
doorways
portals.
are portals. Hallways and doorways are portals.
Well,
Thresholds are portals. Okay, energy.
technically, yes, they
energy
are,
can
actually,
be
but you're suggesting
really
they're portals.
changed from one side to the other. Now, I was little; I didn't know any better, but I knew there was this energy here, and I knew the energy was different. So I would go through this threshold. We went to my aunt comes through. Everybody goes through the house, gets the furniture. But my aunt decides to get something, and I'm following her. I go through that threshold. I feel the weird feeling, but I know she's with me, so I'm safe. We go and we get the furniture. We come back through the house. We go out the front door, and my aunt, in a split second, closes the door and says, "Oh, I forgot my watch," when we used to wear watches. She opens the door, and in that short a time, from the mantle of the chimney, from the fireplace, the clock bolted on a big brick wall, was off the mantle, across the living room, as well as the 2 glass lanterns that were on top of the oil lamps. They were off of there and on the ground.
Across the
they
whole
were
room.
completely across the room. In the dining room, there's a shelf and there's a glass bell. That glass bell was on the floor. Now, I'm going to skip
This
ahead.
is California. You are going to have to skip ahead because we have to get out of here. But was there an earthquake?
No, I'm going to skip ahead.
Okay.
I have a dream. I'm 20 years old at this point. I'm walking down the street. I'm lucid dreaming. I decide I'm going to walk and say hi to my aunt. I see the house. There's the fauna and flora. I walked the path to it. I knock on the door. My little self, I'm now in my little self, and I walk up to the door. I open the door. I see my older self, and I fall back in samadhi. Now, it took me a while to put together the fact what I had shown myself when I visited. Even though I was 20 years old, like 10 years later or something like this, when I had the dream to tell myself what had happened, the clock represents time. The lanterns represented the light. The bell represented sound. Through sound, in the speed of light, I traveled through time to see myself and show myself that I could travel through time.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
And that proves it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? Because we'll have to get out of here now to make way for actual paying customers here at Wayfare.
Pancakes.
Do you have one follow-up question to that? Anything? Nothing.
Question?
I think that answered everything.
That pretty much wrapped it all up for me.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Now
Okay.
I understand everything.
Yay!
So.
All right.
Well, so we still have,
I think that
we
explains
still have
everything.
metaphysician, massage therapist, and many more to go. So we're going to have to come back here and do this again.
Yeah.
Are you guys available?
More
I would love
songs.
to.
Okay.
And bring
Let's
your luggage.
reconvene.
I've been on this show for 2 years. I think this was the most hippy-dippy one I've ever attended. For sure. By, far.
It's just a damn shame that Andrew Duhon's not here today. And by the way, if you're looking for Andrew Duhon, his new record, False River, is out. You can find it at Spotify and all kinds of other places
And this
where you
isn't it.
steal and
This-
buy
what you're
music.
seeing right
And
now
what you're
is a
looking at
poster.
And
We're having an EP release at Vaughn's Lounge on July the 7th.
All
so
right,
if you want
put
to
it
hear
on the
me sing
calendar.
some more,
July
you
the
can
7th,
go.
2018. The name of the band is
Malevitus. But
Malevitus.
we're actually playing on Saturday at Siberia, also at 10 o'clock if all you people
Okay.
want to hear some more, or if you want to hear some more songs, as you were requesting.
Yeah, we never got to our second song. I knew that was going to happen. of
Oh,
course,
well,
but-
people got to come out to the show.
So the name of the person you're listening to is Tiana Hux.
Wiki, what?
But it's also MC Sweet Tea.
That's right.
So I don't know which one we're plugging here. And Malevitus.
Yeah, all of it. All the
All
above.
of it. So
all
check
of the
those
above.
all out.
Yeah.
Tiana, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
This
you
has been an
very much.
epic,
What a pleasure.
This has been an epic show. John
love this
Flemming, I can't believe we
conversation.
finally pulled this off. We
We
got
need
together.
more than an
It's
hour.
awesome. And Lynx Zohar,
Yeah, thank
you
you.
have to come back again and do
Yeah,
this because we've
yeah.
only really just scratched the surface of time traveling.
Time
Hey, listen,
travel.
our show today was brought to us by Door Furniture. For 80 years, they've been serving retail customers throughout the greater New Orleans area. From its home base on Elysian Fields, now in the fourth generation, Door Furniture provides fine quality furniture from manufacturers like Stickley, Century, and a wide variety of Amish furniture as well. They make all kinds of stuff from slip covers to dining room tables, especially for you if you'd like to have stuff customized. And if you're on the North Shore, Door Furniture recently opened another branch in Covington. Door Furniture is as New Orleans as it gets, and thanks too to strategic resumes. If you want to sharpen up your resume, your LinkedIn profile, or your other job search skills, get in touch with them. And if you want to get away, start your search for a vacation with Travel Central and Metairie, where someone can actually do all that travel planning for you.
You
and
do some time
doesn't
traveling.
cost you anything, and time travel
Time
as
traveling.
well. Our
You
show
talk
is
to-
produced today by Graham DePonte and associate produced by Alison Moon. Christian Owner is our music director, and Thomas Walsh is our technical director. Our Facebook Live director who put this whole thing on Facebook Live is Asher Griffith. Andrew Searock is our fact checker and social media connector, and our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about an hour, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. You can also check out other shows we make here, including many previous happy hours and Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace. Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker, and our award-winning podcast about death called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans, and you can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Facebook page. These photos were taken by Jill Lafleur. You can find more photos and info about Jill at lafleurphoto.com. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show was recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy hours of production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everyone else around the table here at Wayfare and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, thank you for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
What is life? Life is about compromise and realizing you can't always get what you want.
Now you can always get what you want without compromise with the new Quattro Pizza from Little Caesars. With 2 slices each of cheese, pepperoni, sausage and pepperoni, and sausage and bruschetta, it's 4 tasty pizzas in one, all for just $7. Take that compromise. How's it feel to get literally everything you want in one large Quattro Pizza, hot and ready every day from 4 to 8 at Little Caesars?
Pizza, 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 pizza.
Participating locations for a limited time plus tax. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii.